Forgiving doesn't make the person who hurt you feel better. It makes you feel better. Accept things as they are. Life isn't about living in the past or living for the future. It's about living in the now. People who play roles will eventually forget their lines. Pay attention. You are always responsible for how you act, no matter how you feel. Being honest may not get you a lot of friends, but it'll always get you the right ones. Learn to deal with people for who they are, not who you want to be. No matter how good you are, if you are in the wrong place, you are worthless. Extraordinary results come from repeating ordinary actions over an inordinate amount of time. You can either choose a happy, conventional, and stress-free life, or you can choose a very interesting, but more difficult and meaningful life. A man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. When you blame someone else for your problems, you're giving them power over you. You're allowing them to define and dictate your happiness and well-being. People start hating you when they cannot control you. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. If you find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth to someone else, you have already forgotten your value. Leave when a promise turns into a sorry. You don't find your purpose somewhere else. You create your purpose, exactly where you are, and you bear meaning to it. No single thing will solve all your problems. No goal, no achievement, no relationship. You will always feel mildly inadequate and somewhat dissatisfied with your life. A happy life is not a life without stress. It's a life of meaningful stress. You won't forget some bad things. You just stop caring. Until that happens, don't stress too much about it. It's never too late to do the things you've always wanted to do. Don't let naysayers discourage you because they may be projecting their own insecurities. The more you love yourself, the more you'll detach yourself from things that don't love you. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you. You can have results or excuses, not both. Growth happens when you start doing things that you're not qualified to do. Be smart enough to ask for advice, but be wise enough to know who to seek it from. With time, the more wins with fear you can accumulate, the more fearless you will become. Never make someone a priority who only makes you an option. Whoever fights can lose. Whoever doesn't fight has already lost. The only way to feel better about yourself is to do things worth feeling good about. A lot of things broke your heart, but fixed your vision. Never deny yourself an experience just because it's unknown or uncomfortable. It may just be a defining and wonderful part of your life. There will always be someone who can't see your worth. Don't let it be you. Your entire life can change in an instant. So instead of passively taking what you have for granted, be grateful for it and do whatever good you can with it. One of the most dangerous things you can do is believe someone's opinion about you. Your relationship with others is a direct reflection of your relationship with yourself. Your tomorrow can be very different from today if you try. Keep thinking about what is not working today, and I promise you that your tomorrow won't either. It's not about having time. It's about making time. You can't always be nice. That's how people take advantage of you. Sometimes you have to set boundaries. Destroy the old you before it destroys you. Be selfish with your time. A lot of people don't deserve it. Never be so loyal that you betray yourself. You cannot have everything. You always exchange something for something. Weak people revenge. Strong people forgive. Intelligent people ignore. We are defined by what we give up, what we sacrifice, and what we reject. You are merely a reflection of the preferences and demands of the people around you. If you don't decide who you are, other people will decide for you. You grow as much as the amount of truth you're willing to accept about yourself without running away. There is always time. The only question is how long you will make excuses and pretend that it doesn't exist. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. The worst kind of enemies are those who pretend to be your friends. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Do not discuss your past with anyone, because only you know its true story and significance. Others may not understand or even use it against you. Success and failure are fuzzy concepts that only exist in your mind before you do something, not after. The more grateful you are, the more beauty you will see all around you. The more generous life will seem, and the happier you will become. Sometimes you need to stop seeing the good in people and start seeing what they show you. If there's something you want to do in life, don't wait if you do. You might find 5 years have passed without you doing anything. Most of your problems disappear once you start hanging out with smarter, more thoughtful people. Everything comes to you at the right time. Be patient and trust the process. You can't always help. Sometimes you will watch people you love make terrible decisions despite the advice you give them. Envy is a waste of time. You already have all you need. Sometimes the world is trying to tell you who you are, but if you don't stop to reflect and listen, you'll never be able to hear. Enjoy every bit of your life to the fullest. Your compromises and sacrifices will be rewarded. An apology without change is just a manipulation. You don't really know the person you're with until you move in together. Never marry anyone without living with them first. Hurting them back will not heal your pain. Someday you will look back and know exactly why it had to happen. You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond to it. Stop having relationship problems with people you are not in relationships with. Once you lose someone, it is never exactly the same person who comes back. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. If you say you'll do something, do it. Your word is one of the most valuable things you can cultivate. And if your word ever loses that value, it will be hard to get it back. Trust takes years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair. You might not enjoy discipline, but you'll enjoy the results. You won't always be able to help someone change for the better if you keep trying. There will come a day when you decide you can't do it anymore, and they clearly don't want to change. Don't change yourself just to make someone happy, unless that someone is you. The longer you live in the past, the less future you have to enjoy. Don't worry about those who talk behind your back. They're behind you for a reason. There are no missed opportunities. Everything you missed wasn't yours. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes sacrifice. Your life isn't yours if you constantly care about what others think. Sometimes you need to burn bridges to stop yourself from crossing them again. A man without a vision for his future always returns to his past. Make sure the choices you make are worth the losses you'll take. Action breeds more clarity than thought. So you can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into one. You can make all the mistakes you want. Just don't make the same one twice. It's okay if you don't know how to move on. Start with something easier, like not going back. Sometimes you just need to be a bit selfish. Put yourself first and think about what is best for you. Learn to see people for what they are, not what you want them to be. Be humble enough to know you aren't better than anyone, but wise enough to know that you're different than the rest. Until you become comfortable with being alone, you will never know if you're with someone out of love or out of loneliness. People don't decide their future, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. The faster you do the things you avoid, the faster you get the good things you want. Accept the things you cannot change, and change the things you cannot accept. The greatest challenge in life is discovering who you are. The second greatest is being happy with what you find. You think you know someone, but mostly you just know what you want to know. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. If nothing else, some people just teach you how not to be. You can't make anyone love you, and you can't force yourself to love anyone else. Don't burn your opportunities for temporary comfort. Confidence does not come from an expectation of success. It comes from a comfort with failure. Sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same. We are the average of the people we spend time with. Surround yourself with good people to be a good person. Don't expect to see a change if you don't make one. People will walk in and out of your life, and those you least expect will become past remembrances of a temporary time you once thought was permanent. You train people how to treat you, unconsciously or not. The point of the argument is not to defeat each other, but to understand each other. If it scares you, it might be a good thing to try. Your value is not determined by someone else's inability to see your worth. There are no bad emotions, only bad reactions to them. You have to learn how to channel your negative emotions in a constructive way. People who show you new ways of thinking and new ways of seeing life are important. Your enemies will often tell you the truth because it hurts, and your friends will often lie because it doesn't. Develop a willingness to be disliked. This will grant you the freedom to do what needs to be done, even if it's unpopular. Be brave enough to say what you want to say, not what people want to hear. If someone's absence brings you peace, you won't lose anything. We often overestimate what we can do in a year, but underestimate what is possible in 5. Your past or childhood may be messy, but it's a great force in your future. If it's out of your hands, it deserves freedom from your mind too. Don't be afraid to start over again. This time you are not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. The more responsibility you take, the more you empower yourself to actually do something about that pain. Your friends and family do not always know what is best for you. Loneliness is the price you pay when you start to improve yourself. Don't take people for granted. You never know when they could be gone. You never know how much they mean to you until they're gone. Characterize people by their actions, and you will never be fooled by their words. When someone shows you their true colors, don't try and paint a different picture. If you want to feel motivated to do something, take the smallest action towards doing it. You will never remember the days and nights you stay home and do nothing. Hands that were on your shoulder during bad times are more valuable than the hands that clap for you on your success. Just because you missed them doesn't mean you need them back in your life. The cost of procrastination is the life you could have lived. Be careful who you share your weaknesses with. Some people can't wait for the opportunity to use them against you. In solitude, the mind gains strength and learns to lean upon itself. Sooner or later, a person who wears 2 faces forgets which one is real. What you allow is what will continue. Your true friends become apparent when you're at your lowest. Live life the way you want to live it, because even people who care for you can't be with you every step of the way. You're going to make a lot of people mad doing what's right for you. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. Potential means you haven't done anything yet. Maturing is realizing that overplaying your part in people's lives to prove your loyalty is only proving how much less you value yourself. Deal with people the way they deal with you. If you're lucky enough to get a second chance at something, don't waste it. Stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. Real strength is letting people lose you instead of begging them to choose you. There's a reason why some people are not in your life anymore. Honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. Most people are only nice when things don't matter. Never be so kind you forgot to be clever, and never be so clever you forgot to be kind. You'll be alone in the most difficult times of your life. These times will make you wise, mature, and fearless. Some people only care about you if you are doing something for them. When you start seeing your worth, you'll find it harder to stay around people who don't. The truth is that maturing is realizing that a relationship can always work out and always be fixed, no matter the situation. One wrong step can change everything. Don't lie, don't cheat, be honest, and be loyal. Never take someone's feelings for granted. You never know how much courage they took to share them. If you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. Resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. You can't really control someone's loyalty towards you. You can do so much for someone and still not be treated well. If you blame it on someone else, don't expect it to get better. One day you'll have a clean, quiet house and a car with a spotless interior. And all you'll want is for the ones who made the mess to come home. Action proves who someone is. Words just prove who they pretend to be. Once you feel you are avoided by someone, never disturb them again. Be cautious with good deeds. Kindness has limits, and some may exploit your generosity. Your progress does not need to be seen or validated by others to be real. Expectation always hurts, so expect less or no expectation from others. You'll ruin your life trying to make everyone happy. The only time you should look into someone else's bowl is to make sure they have enough. Given the choice between being right and being kind, choose kind. Don't take criticism from anyone you would not take advice from. When you're working for someone else's dream, you sacrifice your own. A person who doesn't have a life of their own will always try to create drama in yours. You can't lose what you never had. You can't keep what's not yours. And you can't hold on to some things that don't want to stay. Life always offers you a second chance. It's called tomorrow. Most people will deceive you if you give them at least half a chance. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. The people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind. Believe half of what you see, and don't believe anything you hear. Never expect someone to catch you when you fall, even if you have caught many from falling. You can be friends with people for years, and it could take years to realize they were never your friends. All endings are also beginnings. We just don't know it at the time. Life may knock you down, but remember, you don't lose by falling. You lose by staying down. You may be the only person left who believes in you, but it's enough. Not everyone is meant to be in your future. Some people are just passing through to teach you lessons in life.